Hey friends, welcome to Andy's Audio Crap, where we talk about audio gear. Today it's going to be bookshelf speaker. Anyways, this is the Canton, and it is called the Chrono 502.2. We're going to talk about this really interesting speaker.
This video's sponsor is Andy's Audio Crap on eBay, where you'll find used parts, new old stock, kits, and occasionally gear. Thanks for your support.
Just to level set here real quick, I had the opportunity to buy a whole bunch of speakers all at once, so I did so, and I'm in the process of evaluating, reviewing them to replace what is currently in my office, which is these. These are Beovox, B&O, Bang & Olufsen. They are really interesting speakers in and of themselves, not like this kind of interesting, but they are interesting. They do voice like nothing I have experienced, and I've been through a lot of speakers. Prior to these, I had a Klipsch set, which included a subwoofer, and then these Klipsch R15Ms. And then as kind of a baseline to set things straight, I really like my Martin Logan Sequel 2s, which are, the big ass Martin Logans. Okay, so let's go through some specs real quick, because this is going to be very important in how we evaluate these. The Martin Logans are 89 dB sensitive. They are two-way, although that mid-range in tweeter is just enormous. They are 6 ohms. They respond at 28 hertz all the way up to 24 kilohertz, and then they are roughly 20 to 400 watts. And honestly, I'm only driving them with about 80 watts, and they sound absolutely spectacular. The Klipsch are actually pretty good on their own. The subwoofer does help them out quite a bit, and they're actually 94 dB sensitivity, so very sensitive, meaning that you don't need a lot of wattage to drive them. They are two-way, of course. You can just see that yourself here. They're 8 ohms, so most amps, all amps, well, there might be one exception, but anyways, can drive this speaker. As far as their frequency response on their own is 62 hertz to 24 kilohertz, but honest to goodness, with that subwoofer accompanying them, it goes way lower. And then as far as wattage, it's 85 up to 340, but I wouldn't want to put 340 through these. It'll burn them up quick. Just based on my own experience, I usually only use them with a little 25 watt amp, and that's plenty sufficient. All right, the Beovox here is a 120.2. They're exceedingly rare. I just happened upon these at a local kind of a thrift store, hawk shop type thing, and the guy was like, yeah, the woofers don't work. It's $100, walk out the door with them. I was originally going to part them out, but once I heard that mid-range, I was like, yeah, these things are getting repaired. So 88 dB sensitivity, which is, it takes a little bit of power to push them. They're three-way design, obviously. 8 ohms, 42 hertz, all the way up to 22,000 kilohertz, and 120 watts. So for my ears, I really love my Sequel 2s, my Martin Logans. These are a very pleasant second. And then these, there's a reason they got retired. And it's just, you can only do so much with such a small footprint. But this kind of disproves that big time. You'll see that these are actually, and I'm going to try not to spill my coffee here, but put these side by side. The cans are actually a smaller from a front real estate standpoint, about an inch all the way around smaller. They are deeper, so they gain just a little bit of square footage, cubic footage. But let's go through their specs. So it's the 502.2 and the Chrono, 85 dB sensitivity. So you need a lot of wattage to run these. but they are 4 ohm. So that generally on a 4 ohm compatible amplifier pushes up the wattage that amplifier can push out. So that's good, great. Two-way design. Actually, let me open these up and show you the two-way, because it is a stunning, beautiful presentation. These things just look cool as hell. The rating as far as response, 33 hertz, super low for something with this small of a footprint, up to 40,000 kilohertz. Okay, my hearing is completely almost like dropped off dead at 14, 15,000. I can't even hear it anymore. This goes way out of my hearing range. So the wattage is, they have 2 different settings for wattage, and they recommend 100 watts for music listening. Now, my experience with these speakers is that they sound like nothing I have ever heard before. If you are familiar with the Carver amplifiers with holography, and you are used to a normal amplifier, and the first time you hear that, you're going to be like, wow, there's really something different happening with that Carver amplifier to make that image pop, right? These do exactly that. Now, I tried to look it up to understand if these are sold in left-right pairs, because maybe something is going on in here that creates that almost holographic sound depth. And from what I can tell, there's not anything. It's just the way that the speakers are designed. And I don't see anything really different about how they're built, not and on the outside. So it's got to be something else. I'm not sure what that is, but these things are absolutely killer good. I cannot get over how good they are. Now, I think, in my personal opinion, these are not going to set well with some people. Some folks really do enjoy that kind of dull, flat, I would say crisp level, or maybe even lighter on the chirpy side. And you are not going to like these. These are not fatiguing in a fatiguing chirpy way. They are just really, there's a lot of depth. And I would say my wife, when she listened to them, she was like, it sounds like I have my headphones on. And she has one of those really nice Sony set of headphones, and she was like, man, if I could have these in my office, I would take them. And unfortunately, the guy that helped me, not unfortunately, no, fortunately, the guy that helped me acquire all of these speakers, he wants these, and I'm going to give them to him. That looks like if you can find a set of these on the used market, they're really kind of expensive for a used set of bookshelf speakers. There is another set of Cantons that came along with this whole grouping, and I've ended up adopting those, and they have taken the place of these. So stay tuned. I'll show you what those are. They're a lot more attainable than these. So that's all I have to say about this. Why don't you give it a listen and let me know what you think. Just very, very quickly here, I needed to go through what I listened to these on. It is an IEMA, let's see here, IEMA A07 with, I have another video of I upgraded the op amp in that. I have just average run-of-the-mill cabling, nothing super special, but nothing super cheap. And then I'm listening to it on a Discman, line level out into the amp. What I did, I just listened to the entire Aerosmith Pump album, and but you'll hear some stuff that's not copyrighted. All right, that covered that part. Let's get into it.